Bonsoir tout le monde.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this meeting of the September 9, 2019. We'll start with our opening comments. Let us have the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change things that we can change, and the wisdom to know the difference. So, call to order. Confirmation of quorum. Declaration of conflicts of interest. Adoption of agenda. A motion, please. Councillor Cormier, seconded by Councillor Leblanc. Are there any questions? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried. I just wanted to mention to the public that Mr. Mayor Lapierre is absent. He is in Europe right now, and he should be coming back around the 18th of September, 17th or 18th of September. So, in the interim, I am acting as Deputy Mayor for the period. So we'll start with item 7.1. Petitions, presentation, and inquiries. Inquiries by council members to the Kodiak Regional RCMP. Are there any questions or comments? Mr. Alain. Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Mayor. It's a good evening. There are a couple of people who sent me emails, so I'm wondering if I could maybe remind the community that it's not the email that we could send to the RCMP. Is there one? For example, if there are requests or on Fox Creek, school children are on the streets. There are a lot of buses. The mayor says that every time there's a new street, it's asphalted, so people drive a little faster than usual. So there was a lot of concern, so I told him that I would mention it today, the Fox Creek. Also, that we received an email. Maybe if there's an email that we could, that you could have, so that you are aware of what things are going on. Thank you very much. The email is, as far as I'm concerned, traffic complaints. We have a committee for the three communities, Moncton, Riverview, and Dieppe. I don't have the specific email as such, but I probably can send it to you, the contact for that committee. But complaints concerning traffic should be actually sent to that committee, so I will give you the email. Councillor Brideau. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor, and good evening, Mr. Critchlow. At the last meeting, I brought up the topic of traffic and noise, modified exhaust pipes. You'd mentioned at the time that there were things that could measure the, I guess, the decibels. So have you succeeded in making these machines operate? Thank you for the question. What I did was we have a provincial traffic section, and I asked to have them send me a solution, but right now we would have to have an operation. We have to have different people involved, for example, charges in court. So it's not simple, it's complicated, but we've started the steps to try to enforce these to use these instruments to measure the amount of noise. I'm bringing the topic up because I received a couple of complaints over the summer. Champlain Boulevard, Paul Street. They were mentioning smaller cars, and obviously they called me because it's my ward, but we'd like to know, would you prefer we refer these complaints directly to your office so that you are aware that they occur at such and such a time on such and such a day? I mean, on Paul and Champlain, I can understand that people who live in the apartments, that noise is amplified because there's an echo effect and it bothers people. Well, we have to receive the complaints, but like I said, the traffic complaints have to be sent to the traffic committee for the 3 communities. We have to have the information, but if it's just sent to the council, it's we don't exactly know who, where. We really have to have the license plates of the car, the color. I can understand because I can receive a complaint tonight, but it's something that maybe occurred yesterday, so it's too late for me to call you. Yeah, I can understand that, but with all the information, we could maybe just open a file. It could be 10 cars. So even if it was yesterday or the week before, or it has to happen when it's going on. All right, thank you. Are there any other questions? I have a question concerning the Congrès Mondial Acadien. We had a very important evening in Dieppe. I wanted to know if things went well concerning the RCMP and the police force, if everything went well. Yes, everything went well. We had an operational plan set up, and I did not receive any complaints. I know that there was a lot of traffic, a lot of people, but to my knowledge, things went really well. So if you could maybe pass a message along to congratulate them, because it's true, we received a lot of compliments on the whole evening. The control people, when they left, were able to leave the region without any problems. So congratulations to your staff for that. Thank you very much. Do you have anything to add? Yeah, maybe the public is aware of what occurred over the weekend in Dieppe. So just maybe a little bit of information for council and public. I can tell you that Saturday morning, 2 bodies were discovered in a residence of Amiro Street in Dieppe. The investigation is ongoing at the beginning, but we can already say that we do not believe that it is a haphazard crime. I know that this is a situation that can be a concern for some of our citizens. That's why the Major Crimes Group and the Kodiak Regional Service and some other specialized police services of the RCMP are investigating seriously. So there'll be more information shared with you and the public. We continue with the investigation. I have to leave for a meeting shortly, as a matter of fact. So that's it for tonight. Okay, thank you for this information. And thank you for being here. If I mean, you're invited to stay with us if you have the time. If not, we understand that you've concerned with other things. Not tonight. I have to leave. I have a meeting at the office. Okay. Thank you. Now we go to 7.2 public hearing zoning bylaw Z10 2017 5 Élève Street. So thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Mayor. So right now we're in a public hearing. So a brief overview of the presentation. So the timeline, important dates for the amendments. We have the amendments proposed for the development plan, municipal amendments also proposed for the zoning bylaw. So you have before you a timeline for the rezoning process. There was a public presentation the 12th of August, as you can see. Right now, it's the public hearing today. So what is left in the process is the formal recommendation from the Planning Advisory Council, and then on the 23rd of September, the decision from Council to proceed or not. So the location of the project, close to Boulevard Dieppe corner and the new Élève Street. So before you, there's a plan that is proposed. It would be a regrouping of row houses. There would be 4 buildings altogether with 23 units of row houses, and they would be spread over 4 buildings. This is a view of what is being proposed. So the amendment basically would be to go from commercial to residential. And the amendment is essentially basically to go from zone CM to zone R3. So that concludes the public hearing. As you can see, the next step would be the formal recommendations from the Planning Advisory Council, and then on the 23rd of September it comes back to Council. If you have any questions or comments. Councillor Leblanc. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Do we have a bylaw or conditions for the finishing of the outside of the building? Yes, up to now we've worked with the developer to make sure that what you will see from the public street side of the building or the front of the building, that it would be finished with specific materials. In other words, 100% of the facade or both sides that have facade on a public street will have to be finished with specific materials, wood, brick, windows, no vinyl for that section of the building. Yeah, because on the picture it looks like vinyl. Well, it could be wood or Connexel. Either way, Council has the power to impose conditions. So once the committee has studied it and we propose a specific condition related to zoning, you can look into it, making sure that you're comfortable with what is being proposed. It's just that we're at the beginning stages of the development of Élève Street, so we would like to see something attractive to see the construction of the roads, give us an idea of what it could look like in the future. Absolutely, and I think that the developer is on the same page as you. So he would be ready to look at the possibility of having a building that is going to heighten the quality of the sector. Councillor Boutillier, thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. And listen, I don't know if it's the right moment to ask a question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. When I saw the development as such on the way was being on the plans, is there a strategy for snow removal? Because as you know, we've had a situation. So do we have a plan for these residents here, snow removal? Yeah, certainly we've had discussions with the developer. There would be a little bit of room on the site to store snow, but he's aware that any type of snow surplus on the site would have to be brought elsewhere and stored elsewhere. So any type of context in an urban environment, there's always a dilemma where to put the snow. So obviously there are possibilities of too much snow. So in that case, the developer would be responsible to get rid of the snow elsewhere. Thank you. Mr. Cormier, did you have a question? That was the same question. Any other questions? No? Okay, so we go to the next one, which is the zoning bylaw Z10 2017-6, the Village des Arbres. So, this is now the public hearing for the request of rezoning for the Village des Arbres. So it's the same thing. We're going to be looking at the timeline of the project and then the amendments proposed to the zoning bylaw. Council set 12th of August for the public hearing, also for the formal recommendation from the PAC for the 18th of September. So today, 9th of September, public hearing, and then the council will study it and decide on the 15th of October. You have before you a map that shows the 4 lots that are involved in this rezoning proposal to accommodate this development here. So we're suggesting 3 new streets. I think there would be 76 units. There are a lot of large conservation zones, so there's would be connectivity to the Melançon through this public use land. So there would be basically row houses and semi-detached. The proposal for rezoning would be to go from R1 to RHM. So this concludes the public hearing. And the formal recommendation from the PAC will be on the 18th of September and the 15th of October. The council will have to decide to proceed or not. Are there any questions? Councillor Bell. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. In the past, we'd looked at developing the area. We're talking about water and sewer. Where are we at concerning water and sewer? To service the whole area, we know water is available. Sewer would be a question of agreement between the municipality and the developer, a question of cost recovery. So we're looking at a possibility of having intensification of the site to develop it, and then in due time we hope that we would have an agreement for cost sharing to service the sewer. for this area and also at the same time other potential areas. Does that answer your question? So we would look into servicing the area with water and sewer. Yes, absolutely, both municipal services. Councillor Boutillier. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. It was exactly my question if there was water and sewer for that area. Thank you. Just for information to council, we've received no comments, no complaints, no observations after the notice on the public hearing. So nothing, we've heard nothing. Perfect. Any other questions? Okay. So we go now to item 8, questions by members of the public. So is there a question by members of the public? No questions? No? We go to item 9.1, adoption of the regular council meeting held on August 12, 2019. Is there a motion? Motion by... Jean-Marc, seconded by Councillor Patricia. Any questions? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried. Next, step number 10, which is administration, signing authority. So, good evening. You have before you a management agreement. It's attached to the memorandum. There was a pilot project between municipality and Dieppe market, possibility to have kiosks setting up in front of the market that will also permit having a place in the municipality for this type of sellers. So we received good comments and discussions with the market. So our recommendation is to renew this agreement for the next 2 years with an option also for the renewal following that. If one of the two parties wants to make amendments, it was something to be reviewed after 2 years. But if both parties are agreed, we can renew automatically. So that's our recommendation following discussion with the market and Councillor Leblanc for the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. It's not on? Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. The Council authorized the municipal signing officers to sign the management agreement between the City of Dieppe and Really Local Horticultural Cooperative Limited pertaining to the management of a portion of the parking lot of properties situated at 301 Acadie Avenue, PID 704-42470 and 232 Gauvin Road, PID 704-42413. So moved. Moved by Councillor Leblanc. Seconded by Councillor Cormier. On the question. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried. We go to item number 10.3, culture. No, before that we have the 10.21. So here it's, if you remember, the 13th of May last, we had given and awarded a contract to resurface the floor covering. It was done properly, but following the award, we sat with the company and the personnel recommended not to use that product, so we looked at alternatives. This is why tonight we recommend to repeal the resolution adopted on May 13th. And following discussions, there will be another process, or there was another process, and the one that is recommended by the staff to protect our Floor Operations Center. So to repeal, first of all, and then the administration has the power to act following that. So it'll be going forward with the recommended alternative. Councillor Arsenault. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. The Council repealed the resolution adopted on May 13th, 2019, entitled Tender Award Epoxy Floor Covering Operations Center. So moved. Moved by Councillor Arsenault, seconded by Councillor Brideau. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, nay. Carried. (10.3) Now, culture, leisure, and community life. We have an activity for the third year this year, the Frischti Festival 2019. So for this event, we were asked to close temporarily Gauvin Road between Acadie Avenue and Market Street, starting 5 a.m. Thursday, September 26th, to 2 p.m. Sunday, September 29th, in order to hold the 2019 Frischti Festival. So it's for approval tonight. Moved by Councillor Brideau. No, that Council authorize the temporary closure of Gauvin Road between Acadie Avenue and Market Street from 5 a.m. Thursday, September 26, 2019 to 2 p.m. Sunday, September 29, 2019, in order to hold the 2019 Frischti Festival. So moved. Moved by Councillor Brideau, seconded by Councillor Leblanc. Questions? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, nay. Carried. Number 10.4, finance. Request for financing. You have before you a request to the Municipal Finance Corporation for the debenture of $6,165,000 on such terms and conditions are recommended by the corporations. We already obtained approval to obtain the debentures, so all the requests have been submitted. So this is, we're doing it here formally. So what is going to be constructed with these is the Uni complex, part of funding, Boulevard Dieppe with a section on New-Brunswick School, the Fox Street extension of College Street between Champlain and Gauvin, and also the trail on Melanson. So all these projects with the contribution of the municipality, it makes a total of $6,165,000. Councillor Alain for the reading. I'm sorry. Don't have the habit. Yes. Lack of practice. That's that council authorize the clerk, the treasurer, or the mayor to issue and sell to the New-Brunswick Municipal Finance Corporation a municipality of Dieppe debenture in the amount of $6,165,000 on such terms and conditions as are recommended by the corporation, and further authorize that the municipality of Dieppe agree to issue post-dated checks payable to the New Brunswick Municipal Finance Corporation as and when they are requested in payment of principal and interest charges on said debenture. So moved, Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayor. Seconded by Councillor Le Boutillier. Are there questions? No questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, nay. Carried. Number 10.4.2, request for refinancing debentures. So in 2010, we had obtained debentures for certain projects that I'll be mentioning later. So this debentures was for $6,516,000. So it's to refinance what remains to spend. Projects was Paul Street, Melanson, Acadie, infrastructure on Babin, purchase of 2 buses, sidewalks that we built, playgrounds, work on the aquatic center, its 10th anniversary this year, and also water pipes on different streets. So debenture of financing will be over from 5 to 15 years, depending on the project. So to have the authorization of a municipal corporation to refinance it, $6,516,000. Councillor Cormier for the reading. That council authorized the clerk, the treasurer, or the mayor to issue and sell to the New Brunswick Municipal Finance Corporation, a municipality of Dieppe debenture in the amount of $6,516,000 on such terms and conditions as are recommended by the corporation, and further authorize that the municipality of Dieppe agree to issue post-dated checks payable to the New Brunswick Municipal Finance Corporation as and when they are requested in payment of principal and interest charges on said debenture. So moved. Moved by Councillor Cormier, seconded by Councillor Leblanc. On the question. No questions. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried. Item 10.5, appointments. TransAqua. The municipality has 2 representatives on the committee of TransAqua, a Greater Moncton Wastewater Commission. One position was vacant at the end of Chanel Michaud's term, so it is recommended that Jean-Pierre Ouellette be the person appointed by council to sit on the board of directors for a term of 3 years. Moved. Reading, please, Councillor Arsenault. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. The council appoint Jean-Pierre Ouellette on TransAqua Board of Directors, Greater Moncton Wastewater Commission, for a term ending September 1st, 2022. So moved. Moved by Councillor Arsenault, seconded by Councillor Leboutillier. Questions? No questions? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried. 10.6 planning. 6.1 adoption policy Z-3 2019-1. So as an objective of our municipality to reduce the greenhouse gases by 2020, there's a policy Z3 was for financial incentive towards the installation of charging stations for domestic use. So following the request that we've received from the service, because this affects only new constructions, there are a couple of requests for existing buildings. So with the capacity that we have and the mitigated requests, there are some funds to adapt to the new requests. So the policy will reflect that we can integrate existing houses equally. So there's a change to the policy. So this is what we recommend here. Councillor Blanc for the reading. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. That Council repeal policy Z-3 2019 entitled Financial Incentive toward the Installation of Charging Stations for Domestic Use, and adopt the new policy Z3 2019-1 entitled Financial Incentive toward the Installation of Charging Stations for Domestic Use. So moved. Moved by Councillor Leblanc, seconded by Councillor Brideau. On the question. Question. My question is, have we determined what the amount would be? Monsieur Girard? $1,000. Thank you. Councillor Alain. What is the cost of a charging station? It's approximately $1,000. So we'll be paying 100% Yes, it's a possibility. Yes, we'll be paying up to $1,000. Some are more expensive, some are less expensive, depending. So we'll be paying for the charging station and for the work also, but essentially for the working charging station. If somebody wants a charging station at home, we'll be paying 100% of the charging station up to $1,000. Yes, up to $1,000. So a charging station in theory costs $1,000 up to $5,000. Well, yeah, there are some pretty expensive, but generally speaking, people, if you're going to set up a charging station for your house, it would cost approximately $1,000. There are more expensive, there are some less expensive. So this is where I have a little bit of a difficulty here, that we're paying 100% of the charging station for domestic use, personal use. I'll be voting against the motion. Deputy Mayor, maybe details. There's a program that we've adopted in March. The principle hasn't changed, so it's up to $1,000. So if it's $800, we reimburse $800, and residents are responsible for the installation, electricity, the lines, the panels, and all that. That's the responsibility of the resident. We're paying for the charging station. That's just a detail. Councillor Le Boutillier. Inaudible comment. Mike. Inaudible comment. Are there any other questions? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. 2 nays. Noted. Councillor Le Boutillier, Councillor Alain. Now, carried. Now, item 10.6.2 here, following the public hearing, the PAC, the Planning Advisory Council, is recommending to go forward with the amendments. Reminder, the 2 amendments for the development plan and the zoning bylaw. Now the municipality makes recommendations for the position of an antenna in the municipality, and also following changes on the law on cannabis, we've also adapted what has been reviewed by local government. So this is all integrated in one. Further reading, Madame Boutillier. The Council accept the recommendation made on August 21st, 2019 by the Planning Advisory Committee relating to amendments of the Municipal Development Plan Bylaw Z-9 2017 and Zoning Bylaw no, there's well, we're at 10.6.2. I'm sorry. So I'll go from the start again, from the beginning. 10.6.2. The Council accept the recommendation made on August 21st, 2019 by the Planning Advisory Committee relating to amendments of the Municipal Development Plan Bylaw Z-9 2017 and the Zoning Bylaw Z-10 2017 as outlined in Bylaws Z-9 2017-2 and Z-10 2017-4 pertaining to provisions regulating cannabis production facilities and the location of new telecommunication antennae. So moved, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Thanks. Moved by Councillor Boutillier, seconded by Councillor Cormier. Questions? No questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried. Now we go to 10.6.3. Once again, recommendation by the Planning Advisory Committee, Z831. There was a condition concerning densification. The developer, before ending his development so he's asking to lighten the conditions. So the Planning Advisory Committee is recommending to adopt these changes. So we're doing the same thing with you. Councillor Brideau. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. That Council accept the recommendation made on August 21st, 2019 by the Planning Advisory Committee for amendments to the conditions relating to bylaw Z831, registered at the Registry Office on September 18, 2013 under number 33116998, pertaining to a portion of land identified under PID 70605779. That Council further accept that the said application be subject to Section 59.3 on the Community Planning Act, and that the following conditions identified under Section 2.2.1, registered at the Registry Office on September 18th, 2013, be amended as follows. 2.2.1 No development shall be permitted, nor shall any land, building, or structure be used on a lot within the R3 zone for any purpose other than A. One of the following main uses: a single unit dwelling, a 2-unit dwelling, a row house dwelling. So moved. Moved by Councillor Brideau, seconded by Councillor Cormier. Questions? No questions. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried. Renovation Net Zero Project. So this is a program through the Canadian Federation of Canadian Municipalities, the FCM. The program exists in order to make sure that there's a net zero concerning carbon for buildings. There's an opportunity here to make improvements to the arena Arthur J. Leblanc. So it's a question of assets. We saw there was an opportunity to recuperate 50% of the funds that would be available. So you have before you a resolution to continue the steps following the presentation that we had here in Municipal Council in August. So we have net zero would be $20,000. $220,000 with a contribution of $90,000 and an in-kind contribution of $20,000. All things that would be, so it's a cost reimbursement of 50% of the cost from the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. To read the motion, Councillor Arsenault. Councillor Loup-Boutillier. The Council agreed to participate in the project entitled AJL Renovation vers Net Zero in the amount of $220,000, HST included, of which the City of Dieppe will contribute $90,000 as well as an in-kind contribution of $20,000, subject to the reimbursement of 50% of the costs from the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, for which a grant application has been submitted with the Green Municipal Fund. So moved. Moved by Councillor Loup-Boutillier, seconded by Councillor Cormier. Questions? Councillor Cormier. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. What is the amount of money that we could save annually? Is an estimate of charges? I think, yes, I'm going to look at Monsieur Bourque if he has the answer. If not, we'll find the answer for you if it's not in the document. Alexandre will correct me if I'm wrong. No, I'm going to have Alexandre answer because I know he has the right numbers. Okay, we're passing the buck here. Do I have it? No, I don't. There we go. So a little bit of context, the feasibility study, there are hypotheses, they will all confirm. So we can probably get 30% efficiency, so it's $75,000 a year on the whole electric bill. So if the feasibility study shows that it can be done reasonable with a reasonable budget, then we'll go to the next step, either a pilot project or another project. Councillor Brideau, so my question is, the municipality's contribution is $110,000, 90 plus 20, and we have the possibility of recouping 50% of the total amount. The whole project is $220,000. Our contribution is $90,000 in money and 20 in kind, and then above that it comes from the FCM. So the 50% is on the whole amount. The whole amount of $220,000. Okay, great, thanks. Any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, nay. Carried. Next item, 10.6.5, signing authority. Here you have, and we've been talking about it for over 2 years now, an agreement between the City of Dieppe, the Association Francophone Association of Municipalities of New-Brunswick, and the Société d'Innovation en Environnement pertaining to the Sauvé project. That's to purchase 2 electric vehicles, 50% funding available, and the agreement specifies this contribution. So it's to go forward with the signing of this agreement. For the reading of the motion, Madame Arsenault. The Council authorized the municipal signing officers to sign the agreement between the City of Dieppe, the Association Francophone des Municipalités du New-Brunswick, and the Société d'Innovation en Environnement pertaining to the Sauvé project, SSA, AFMNB. So moved. Moved by Councillor Arsenault, seconded by Councillor Alain. Questions? No questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, nay. Carried. Now we go to the next item, 11.1. No, before that we have 10.7.1. Yes, sorry, 10.7.1. Oh, sorry. So, Deputy Mayor, you have before you the purchase of 2 electric vehicles to conform with the writing of the resolution. We asked to repeal 2 resolutions that had been adopted here in Council, the 27th of November 2017 and the 13th of August 2018. These were demonstration projects. The second one is a financial participation. Now it's to authorize the purchase of 2 electric vehicles following, there were 4 submissions. 2 met all criteria, and the one that was remaining was Moncton Kia for a total of $93,000 plus HST, of which 30% will be refunded by the municipalities. And this is the 31st of, so it's a recommendation of staff. Councillor Leboutillier. Thank you, Mr. That Council repeal the resolution adopted on November 27, 2017, entitled Financial Participation Sauvé Projet AFMNB Demonstration Project Component. The resolution adopted on August 13, 2018, entitled Financial Participation Sauvé Project AFMNB, and adopt the following. That Council award the tender of the purchase of 2 electric vehicles for the Public Works Department to Moncton Kia at the cost of $93,336.84 plus HS. $93,336.84 plus HST, of which 50% will be reimbursed by the Federation of Canadian Municipalities under the SAUVE project, SSEAFMNB, demonstration project component, pursuant to Moncton Key's proposal dated July 31st, 2019, and authorize that this expenditure be defrayed from account number 3320127901, General Capital Budget Equipment Program. So moved, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Moved by Councillor Leboutillier, seconded by Councillor Arsenault. Questions? No questions? All those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried. Now we can go to 11.1. The bylaw CV1 2019 is relating to the establishment of controlled access streets within downtown Dieppe. Read in its entirety, and then a third reading by title. Councillor Cormier, would you like to do the reading? Thank you. Bylaw number CV1 2019, a bylaw relating to the establishment of controlled access streets within downtown Dieppe. Pursuant to the authority vested in it under Section 68 of the Community Planning Act, SNB C-19, the Council of the Dieppe, City of Dieppe, duly assembled and acts as follows. 1. Definitions. Access means a vehicular point of entry or exit on a street. Accès. Temporary access means an access permitted on a street for a period determined by the engineering department of the City of Dieppe. Accès temporaire. Development as defined in the Community Planning Act. Aménagement. Committee means the Planning Advisory Committee of the City of Dieppe. Comité. Utility includes any person or corporation that provides water, electric power, telecommunication services, natural gas, or other gas intended for use as fuel to the public. Entreprise de service public. Controlled access street means any street or portion thereof listed in Schedule A, rue à accès limité. 2. Prohibited activities. On a street designated as a controlled access street, A, no person shall construct, use, or open or permit the use of any access on a property identified on the map in Schedule B. B, any development on a property identified on the map in Schedule B is prohibited if, in the opinion of the committee, it would interfere in any way with the use of such controlled access. 3. Exceptions. This bylaw shall not apply to A, an access to a municipally owned property, B, an access for public utility use, and C, a temporary access approved by the engineering department of the City of Dieppe. So moved in its entirety. Moved by Councillor Cormier, seconded by Councillor Brideau. Are there any questions? No questions? All those in favor of this motion signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried. Now, we go to the third reading by title only. Councillor Cormier. A bylaw, number CV-1, parentheses or brackets 2019. A bylaw relating to the establishment of controlled access streets within downtown Dieppe. So moved. Third reading by title only. Moved by Councillor Cormier. Title. Third reading. Seconded by Councillor Arsenault. Questions? No questions? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried. Now we go to item 12, notice of motion. No motions. Inquiries and announcements by members of council. I think we start with Councillor Leblanc. Yeah, a mic is necessary. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Just a comment. I'd like to wish a good start of the school and college year, but especially ask citizens on the streets to pay attention to the school buses. When those red lights are flashing, it's not a request for stop. You must stop and pay attention to the pedestrians. So please drive safely in school zones. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Cormier. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. I echo Councillor Blanc's comments. Wish of a good school year start and a good school year. Thank you. Councillor Brideau. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. I'd have a question to Madame Spencer concerning the contracts of the small streets that were repaired or rebuilt during the summer. I suppose that you have inspectors who check the work that was done. They go there afterwards. Yes. Okay, it's just that over the summer I've heard unhappy residents concerning things that occurred in their driveways. So I'm saying, okay, how come our inspectors haven't noted it, or they didn't see it? So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, so to make sure that, I mean, in the future we're going to have same thing occur again. So we have to make sure that we make the necessary repairs. Thank you. Comment, Madam Spencer? Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Yeah, we've had inspectors on site, and also at the end of the work, we have a final inspections. And there's a 2-year period of guarantee during which we keep certain amounts of money to make sure that the repairs will be made. So repairs will be made at those places. Great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Councillor Brideau. Nothing else. I'm okay. Councillor Boutillier. Wait, sorry, I got to turn the mic on. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. I'd like to start by going back to the 15th of August and all the activities of the CMA to congratulate everybody who participated from near, from far, municipal staff, volunteers. It was a memorable day. We had a fantastic site with beautiful music, and certainly we're going to be able to offer other shows of that caliber. Then I'd also like to congratulate everybody. I'd like to maybe us to look at Saturday, congratulate all those who had to do extra work with the post-tropical storm, Dorian. I was told that when there was a electricity break, it was a Saturday night. It was especially at the emergency lighting at the AGL arena. Normally it should last 15 minutes or longer because the lighting in there didn't last more than 2 minutes. So there were people on the ice, and that was a very dangerous situation. I don't know what happened, but I'd like us to look into it to make sure that our emergency systems, our emergency lights are charged up. And so I think it's very important. There were no incidents, no major incidents, but still, it's a question of safety. That's all, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Thank you. Comment? Yeah, we'll have a follow-up and we'll communicate what we've found out. Thank you. Is that it, Madame Le Boutillier? Yes, it is. Councillor Larsenault. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. I also want to echo what was just said. It was excellent, a very good Congrès Mondial Acadien. Participation was fantastic. The 15th of August was really exciting. I participated in this also, and I was very emotional. It was really very good. There was one resident that was mentioned to me, and I agreed with him that maybe we could have a little more visible decorations, colors that would strike people, but regardless, it was fantastic. This year, Mr. Minoso mentioned that it's been 10 years that our aquatic center has been ongoing, and boy, the years flew by. So finally, a good school year to all. It's another school year that's starting for all those who are in school, so good luck, and I wish you much success. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Arsenault. Councillor Alain. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Comment, first of all, as Councillor Arsenault has said, it's the beginning of school, but during the summer we were helped a lot by students, municipal. I think we had more than 70 students who worked during the summer, and that makes a difference for the Mercredi show, for example, and different activities. So I just wanted to mention their work. It's not easy for a student. I mean, we have 300 applications, but I still want to congratulate people and thank the young students who came to help us during the summer. I hope that it was good work, and hopefully we can continue this next year. It's very important. Also, two questions for Monsieur Raymond. Councillor Le Boutillier brought forth a good question. I'll have another question on the generators in arenas. Do we have a generator at the new arena, Uniplex? Is it in the plan? And do we have one at the Arthur Gilles Leblanc also? The second question that has nothing to do with arenas, it's a question of patching on Arsenault Street in Dieppe. There's a resident that called me this week, and they told me that there are potholes. It's a street that needs work. So I'm just wondering if there was a plan, and where was it, to make sure that there was some patching up on it. First question for Monsieur Bourque. Okay, so the first question concerning the generator at the Arthur Gilles Leblanc. We don't have a generator really now. I don't know if we can have one in, but there was a portable one, but there are designated areas for that portable one. I mean, sometimes we have to have a center that we have to open for. So concerning the new complexes, when we went to bids, we had to decide because there was overruns on costs. We decided there was no generator installed. I don't know if that clarifies the questions. Concerning the second question, the report that I received, the message, patching, all that patching had been done. So we'll look into it tomorrow morning to make sure that we're looking at it. But Arsenault Street, or way, warrants attention over the next couple of years. We'll be doing a follow-up tomorrow concerning the patching. Yes, thank you. A little more of information on Arsenault. We have to remember that part of that road is outside of the limits of the municipality, so we'll have to discuss things with the province. So the first part is the province, and then I don't know what the distance is, but one part is the municipality, another part is the province. So we'll see where the patching was not done and see if it's us or not. Thank you, Councillor Alain. I have three things that I'd like to talk about. First of all, congratulations. Good news. I was asked to pass along the message concerning the company Rents Pets that has just set up shop. They mentioned that their setup was so well orchestrated. It's the first time in a municipality, and they've been opening a couple of times in years, and they've never seen cooperation, collaboration, such as was given by Dieppe. So they congratulate us for the work that was done, so much so that we were able to open the store with 3 months ahead of time. So they just wanted me to send the message along. The second one is concerning the fundraising campaign. Monsieur Bourque, I'd like to mention that people who worked at the Rotary Park for the weekend, Friday, people who slept in their cars, their fundraising campaign, they were impressed by your support. For that support, they helped beyond, they were helped beyond their expectations. So I believe that they're going to be coming back year after year, and this is their second year. They're really, really happy. So if you want to pass along the message to your staff, so that it was much appreciated. The third point, I think it's everybody agrees with this, that what happened over the weekend with the storm, we have to thank and congratulate all staff of the municipality who really worked hard to help us get through this. And I mean, we had staff ready to address the concerns. So we have to congratulate all staff, everybody who was involved during the weekend. It could have been something serious. It could have been terrible. But we got through it. So thank you to all staff on behalf of council, and especially on behalf of citizens, because we had very few complaints and many congratulations. So thank you very much. That being said, it's the end of the meeting. No other items. Thank you for your patience. Good evening. Okay, I can only practice this once a year, so thank you for your patience, and a good evening to everyone, and we'll see you at the next meeting.